There was a time when the Brown family looked like something out of a heartfelt, complicated, but united picture of plural love. Remember those early seasons? When the kids ran around freely, Christine was cooking in the kitchen, Janelle was managing finances, and Meri was holding on to the role of first wife with all the strength she had left. Back then, it almost felt like the sisterhood worked. Like maybe, just maybe, polygamy could be a choice, not a burden. But that piece didn't last. And if you look closely, you'll see exactly when things started to shift. Hey friends, I'm Oliva, and welcome back to TLC's Sister Wives Secret. If you've ever looked at this family and thought, wait a minute, something's not adding up, then you're exactly where you need to be. Don't forget to subscribe and let me know in the comments. Do you think Robyn came into this marriage with honest intentions? Or did she always have something else in mind? Because today, we're pulling apart the story that was sold to us and looking at what actually played out on screen. This isn't about hating a new wife or playing favorites. This is about patterns, power, position. So here's the real question we're asking. Did Robyn rise by accident, or did she come in with a plan to slowly replace the original wives and make herself the center of the entire Brown family? When Robyn first entered the family, she was introduced as this shy, soft-spoken single mom, someone who just wanted to belong. But it didn't take long before things started shifting in ways that didn't feel accidental. One of the clearest signs? The house. When the Browns moved to Flagstaff, every wife had to downsize, compromise, or in Janelle's case, move into what looked like a glorified rental. But not Robyn. Robyn landed the biggest house, by far. And her reason? She said she wanted to be the one to host all the family gatherings. At face value, that sounds sweet, right? Generous even. But if you were paying attention, you knew something was off. Because for years, Christine was the one who brought everyone together. She was the one cooking meals for 20 people like it was nothing, organizing Christmas mornings, hosting birthday parties, and keeping the kids close. She didn't just hold traditions, she was the tradition. And slowly, quietly, that role was taken away from her. Not by accident, but by design. Then came the photo. You probably remember the family picture. Christine, Kody, and their children. It was a part of their history, but that photo was digitally altered. And Christine was removed. In her place, Robyn's three kids, who at that time barely knew Kody. It was jarring. It wasn't just erasing Christine. It was rewriting the Brown family story, replacing one chapter with another. And no one really talked about it. No outrage, no pushback. It just happened. Like we were all supposed to accept that this new version of the family was now the truth. But if you ask me, that wasn't just a family update. That was a quiet coup. If there's one thing Robyn mastered from the very beginning, it was playing the victim and doing it so convincingly that no one dared to call it what it was: manipulation. Time and time again, we saw Robyn crying. Whether it was over a hard conversation, feeling left out, or because someone else set a boundary, she cried. On camera, to Kody, to the other wives. But the tears weren't about reconciliation. They were about control, emotional control. Robyn made herself seem fragile, like she was always on the edge of being hurt. And Kody? He bought into it completely. Every single time Robyn teared up, he swooped in like a knight, comforting her, defending her, and redirecting his frustration toward the other wives. Christine, in particular, bore the brunt of this shift. The woman who had stood by Kody for over 2 decades was suddenly painted as cold, ungrateful, and distant, while Robyn sat back, dabbing her eyes and whispering how hard this all was on her. And here's where it got even messier: the intimacy. Kody and Christine's relationship had been rocky for a while, sure, but it didn't fully shut down until Robyn's desire for more children started coming into focus. She openly talked about wanting more babies. She made it clear that she and Kody were trying, and that nothing mattered more. And suddenly, the other wives, Christine especially, weren't just emotionally shut out. They were physically cut off. Christine said it best. The lack of intimacy wasn't mutual, it was a message. And yet, Kody blamed her for the distance. All while Robyn quietly became the only woman left with access to her husband. emotionally and physically. Coincidence? Or just part of a long game no one saw coming? There's something deeply unsettling about watching someone slowly imitate another person's life, especially when that person is still standing right there watching it happen. Robyn didn't just step into the Brown family, she seemed to step into Christine's exact place, piece by piece. Let's start with the lightning bolt moment. Christine was the first to share that story. How years ago she saw Kody at church and felt a lightning bolt shoot through her. That moment was meaningful to her. It was her love story, her beginning. But suddenly, seasons later, Robyn shared her version, and it sounded almost identical. Same church, same lightning bolt, same emotional language. Except there's one problem. Robyn's story hadn't existed before. For years, she never mentioned it, not once. Then, out of nowhere, she told it, like it was always part of her narrative. Viewers didn't miss it. It felt like Robyn wasn't just trying to be part of the family, right? She was trying to overwrite it. And then there's the engagement ring. Christine had once shared her engagement ring from a previous relationship, a very specific style. It turns out Robyn ended up with a ring that looked eerily similar. Same stone shape, same overall design. Maybe it was coincidence, but when you put it next to the recycled love story, the picture starts looking less like chance and more like a pattern. Robyn wasn't just joining the Browns. She was replicating a legacy that wasn't hers to begin with. The cooking, the hosting, the family gatherings, even the sentimental stories. One by one, she folded Christine's identity into her own, as if Christine was merely the rough draft and Robyn was the polished version. But the heart of the family doesn't come from imitation. It comes from authenticity. From the very beginning, the idea was supposed to be about fairness, about equal love, equal time, equal treatment. That was the promise of plural marriages, at least the way Kody sold it to Meri, Janelle, and Christine. But the second Robyn entered the picture, that promise started to crumble. Let's talk weddings. Meri made her own dress. Christine barely had a ceremony. Janelle didn't even wear a traditional wedding dress. It was all simple, quiet, and honestly a little rushed. One of those weddings happened during Kody's lunch break. That's how casual it was. Now contrast that with Robyn's entrance. She went dress shopping with Kody, just the two of them. He helped her pick it out, he gushed over it. He even saw her in it before the wedding, something he didn't do with the others. Her ceremony? Huge, grand, and televised. Robyn didn't just get a wedding, she got a moment, a performance. And then came the 2-week honeymoon. Not a weekend, not a staycation, 2 full weeks. While the other wives were left home, handling the kids, watching their husband fall head over heels on national TV. You could see it on their faces, the pain, the realization. Christine looked especially heartbroken, but even Janelle, who usually keeps her cool, couldn't hide the sting. The imbalance wasn't hidden. It was broadcast. TLC cameras captured it all. Viewers saw it. The favoritism wasn't just emotional, it was material. And public. It became clear. Robyn wasn't just the newest wife. She was the favored one. And while the others played along, hoping things would even out, it never did. Coming up next, let's talk about the man behind it all, Kody Brown and his shifting loyalties. At the beginning of Sister Wives, Kody Brown talked a lot about his faith, about how polygamy was a calling, a spiritual journey. He said it was about building something bigger than himself, a family rooted in belief and eternal purpose. But over time, that message changed. The words didn't match the actions anymore. In later seasons, Kody began to say things like, I don't want to advocate for plural marriage anymore because I am more aware now than I ever was before of the apparent and obvious unfairness in the relationship. That wasn't the man who once insisted this life was sacred. It was a man who had grown tired of pretending. He stopped fighting for his family, unless it was for Robyn. He told Christine bluntly that he wasn't attracted to her anymore. That intimacy wasn't happening. He gave Janelle the cold shoulder during their huge blow-up. He emotionally checked out of Meri's life years before he admitted it publicly. But he stayed legally married to Robyn. He remained emotionally committed and visibly devoted to her. The truth is, Cody's polygamy worked for him when he had admiration, when he was the head of a growing family and the cameras were rolling. But when the admiration faded, when the wives started finding their voices, he lost interest. It was never about faith. It was about control. And the moment that control slipped, so did the entire foundation he claimed to stand on. Coming up next, how TLC's cameras may have played a bigger role than we ever realized. You have to wonder, was Robyn really just the new wife Kody stumbled upon? Or was her arrival part of a bigger plan? From the moment she stepped onto the sister wives scene, Robyn had a camera-ready confidence, a presence that felt almost rehearsed. It's hard not to think this was more than coincidence. Some fans and insiders have speculated that Robyn, or even her mother, saw an opportunity with the cameras rolling. The timing, the way her story was spotlighted, it almost felt like casting. She wasn't just joining the family, she was being positioned as the star. And that's exactly what happened. The show started to shift. What once focused on faith, family dynamics, and building a polygamous household slowly turned into a story about tension, competition, and conflict. The cameras zoomed in on Robyn's rise, and suddenly Christine, Janelle, and Meri weren't the central figures anymore. They became the background, the other wives, caught in the crossfire of a new family hierarchy. Their voices got quieter on screen. Their struggles faded into the backdrop while Robyn's narrative took center stage. It wasn't just about documenting reality anymore. It was about crafting drama, creating a storyline that kept viewers hooked. And Robyn was right there in the spotlight, whether by design or chance. But what does that say about the family we thought we knew? Stay tuned. The story isn't over yet. Next, we'll talk about favoritism, the unequal treatment, and what that really meant for the Brown family. Looking at where the Brown family stands now, it's clear that those who left, Christine, Janelle, and Meri, are finding new strength and freedom. They're reclaiming their stories on their own terms, away from the shadows of control and favoritism. They're thriving, healing, and finally visible again. Meanwhile, Robyn and Kody seem more isolated than ever. Their version of the family fairy tale feels fragile, built on a shaky foundation of manipulation and rewriting history. The power they once grabbed so tightly now looks like it's slipping through their fingers. Watching all this unfold, you can't help but ask, was it really worth it? The heartbreak, the broken sisterhood, the emotional toll? Sometimes loyalty can look like love, but it can also become a cage disguised as care. When control takes center stage, true connection suffers. I want to leave you with this. Remember that family isn't just about titles or who holds the biggest house. It's about respect, honesty, and honoring each other's truth. So I'm curious. What do you think? Was Robyn's rise a power play or something else? How do you see Kody's role in all of this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you're new here, I'm Aliva, and this is TLC's Sister Wives Secret. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss the real stories behind the cameras. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay curious and keep questioning.